The Expert Series is brought to you by Draw It Paint, the dry erase paint company that specializes in the highest quality of whiteboard walls available worldwide. Draw It Paint is constantly undergoing tests and procedures to ensure industry-leading, top-quality products with 3 selections to choose from. Recruit, Unique, and Limitless are guaranteed to suit all your dry erase paint needs.
Even in Israel, I went over there for a speaking engagement for investors who live in Israel but buy in America, and they said, "Hey, we'd like you to come over and speak." Not a problem. Just gives me an excuse to travel, which I enjoy doing.
How long were you there for?
Almost 2 weeks.
What was your favorite part about it?
The conference itself. So I like talking to people. I like getting more people to the investing table. There's a lot of misinformation out there in terms of how difficult it is to get started. It's not very difficult. I tell people the challenges that you're going to have with real estate are not outside, they're inside, they're between your ears. As far as fears and things of these what ifs, what if scenarios that people literally create in their own minds, those are going to be the biggest challenges. So actually going to the conference and speaking to people and kind of unpacking some of those fears and letting them know that, hey, what's likely to happen, and then what we do in the event that those what if scenarios do happen.
Yeah, I like that you say common misconceptions. That's something I kind of noticed going through your Instagram, is that you're a very uplifting person. Where does that motivational content kind of come from?
Upbringing, definitely. Figuring out ways to get things done, as opposed to being a problem finder, be a solution finder. And a lot of it came from my upbringing. Like my mom, if we would tell her that we couldn't do something, she's going to respond with 5 or 6 ways and methods for how you can do it. So just kind of focus on what can we do. Not, I can't build a plan with what I don't have and what I can't do.
Yeah, and I really like that you're spreading that mindset out there, because it seems like it's helping.
Yes, definitely.
Now, is it only investors that you speak to when you go to these conferences?
For the most part, because that's generally who's going to be in attendance. But investing wasn't my first swing in business. So what you'll find with investing, there are certain principles that are just ubiquitous to all business, right? So I just enjoy talking to entrepreneurs. Doesn't matter what they're actually doing, because there are certain principles that you're going to need in place regardless of what actual avenue of commerce you're in. And so, I just think that entrepreneurs think differently.
Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I understand that with real estate investing, I'm sure there's a lot of promotional aspect that goes along with it. Besides Instagram, how else do you self-promote yourself?
Really, social media. You'd be surprised at how effective both just posting on social media, but also paid advertisement on social media goes a long way in real estate investing, because real estate investing, contrary to popular belief, has very little to do with properties and everything to do with people, right? So if you don't know how to engage people and effectively convey your genuine concern for their, how can I help you? If you can't really confidently and competently answer that question, it's going to be hard for you to do any type of real estate transactions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you think that can be learned?
Yes. Well, I think almost anything can be learned. I think that if you come to the table with a genuine concern for people, then you're just that way ahead of the learning curve.
Yeah, definitely. That drive is kind of what pushes you forward, it sounds like.
Absolutely. I measure how well I do in a real estate transaction. You'll be surprised how many people literally hug you at the closing table. And so when you can get a hug at the closing table, you've done an excellent job.
It sounds very rewarding at the same time, no?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, you talk about helping people and really sharing a passion for your community. Is that a goal that you set for yourself when you first started your career?
Yes, because real estate is just a tool the end goal is actually improving. In fact, the mission statement for my company is real estate is a powerful tool, and in the right hands, it can change the world, right? Because your whole community is based off of who lives where and where the stores are and that type of thing. So just, for example, what they call food deserts, where you have disadvantaged communities that don't have grocery stores within any reasonable distance. As a real estate investor, I have the opportunity to say, hey, there's a building here. Let me talk to this group of investors. Let's see if they can purchase the building, lease it out to a person who wants to create a market. And so we're solving a community-wide problem.
Right. When you say it, it sounds very honorable. Besides, helping your community and helping others, what other goals did you set for yourself at the beginning?
I have a goal. Most people have goals based on how much money they want to make. I have goals based on how much money I want to spend, putting into other people's pockets. So when like a traditional real estate transaction, there's going to be contracting. We're going to have to improve the property somehow. We're going to have to market the property somehow. We're going to have to manage it somehow. So my goal, I have financial goals based on how much I want to pay out to contractors, pretty much how much money I want to redirect back into the community in the form of creating jobs and income producing opportunities for the actual community.
Right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It kind of sounds like you take each project on its own. You kind of separate each project and set separate goals for those. Is that, would you agree with that?
Exactly.
Yeah. As far as like your team goes and your company, can you tell us a little bit more about them?
Yes. So everyone on my team is handpicked. So I don't do like an open, I'm not like interviewing people. It's people that I know that they operate with the same level of character as me, because in business in general, but especially in real estate investing, your name, everything operates based off of your character and your name and the relationships that you develop. Most of my deals, if I'm being honest with you, they happen over the telephone, text messages and emails. Because once people know that you do good business, it's literally like, hey, do you want this house? You want to redevelop this? It's like, hey, yeah, it's a simple text message. We put it on paper, but I can get a client locked in to a deal just off of a text message and a phone call based on integrity. And so when it comes to building and scaling even my company, I have to have people on my team who operate with that same level, because at the end of the day, no one cares about what your leasing agent did or your asset manager did. They care about, hey, Jeremy told me this person was good, and it didn't work out. So I don't do business with people who do what I need them to do. I do business with people who believe what I believe.
Right. It sounds like you all have this agreement that teamwork is kind of the basis of your entire company.
Yes.
Now you said you don't do interviews. Is that?
No, I don't. I've never interviewed anyone that's on my team.
Wow, that's interesting. So did they reach out to you, or how did it work?
So one of the my primary contractor, I found him while I was looking at properties. He was just talking to his friend. He happened to be next door talking to his friend, and so it's really just like an actual friendship. Like, so I said, hey, do you mind? I asked him if he knew who owned the property at first, right? Because you always want to engage the neighbors. And he said, we know who owns the property, and I do repair work. I said, great. Walk me through this property. Tell me what you would charge me. And his prices were reasonable. And then he would meet with me at other properties that I was looking to buy. And interesting story about him. So a lot of investors don't take on major repairs until they're really experienced. But since I met him on the front end of my investing activities, so my first rental property was just an easy win, what we call easy win, just cosmetic repairs, paint, carpet, that type of thing. The next property was a full scale, like everything. Like they had, the house was abandoned, vandalized. They had stripped out all the electrical, plumbing, you know what I mean? So that's a major renovation. And normally investors don't take that on just their second swing at bat. But I trusted this guy. He said, he can get it done. I said, are you sure? I said, I will take care of it. And from that point on, he's touched every property that we've done.